Tinubu and my journey to exile. Oh, some people are already planning how they're going to go on exile out of Nigeria. Should Tinubu eventually be sworn in as the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria? That will be very terrible. Some people will not be able to stand that condition. Some people will not be able to be in Nigeria under the leadership of Tinubu. I tell you, some are already getting frustrated. Some are already planning to move out of the country and they go on exile. That is, stay abroad as long as Tinubu remains the president of Nigeria. I tell you, because that is not the kind of president most people want, except people who know, or some people who know what, who have something they're gaining from this administration. Otherwise, the administration is actually bad for every average Nigerian. All right, the election of Bola Tinubu as president of Nigeria has thrown up some interesting topics, one of which is the fate of those opposed to his ambition, especially in Yoruba land. As someone who critiqued the Tinubu ambition, okay, his ardent fanatics are already on my case. Tinubu APC candidate was declared winner of the February 25, 2023 presidential election. That was at 4:05 a.m. on Wednesday, February 28. A very close friend who is more or less a relation called me at about 4:48 a.m. He had called about 3 times before I picked the call as I was sleeping. This is what he said to me. Now that Tinubu has been declared winner, where will you run to? I struggled out of sleep to respond. I don't want to publish my response, but it was harsh because we had very strong political arguments on the appropriateness or otherwise of my stance on his deity, Tinubu. I had stomached his invectives in the past. In one of his responses to my column before the election, he told me that only a Yoruba bastard, only a Yoruba bastard would not support Tinubu. Even when I told him the inappropriateness of that phrase, he was not remorseful. Okay, he said, worse things later in our subsequent interactions on the matter, so that post-election calls was the height of it for me. Okay, he wondered what I just said. I repeated exactly the words. He called me some unprintable names and subsequently terminated the call before blocking me on all platforms. My attention was equally drawn to another post by someone I do not know. He wrote in a photo frame just us, how far with those Yoruba Nation writers, Yoruba Nation? Okay. In Tribune, Festus Adebayo, Suyi Ayodele, Lasisi Lagunju, they will soon be hunting for appointments. About appointments, so I smiled, especially with the emoji the person used as background. I confess here, this particular post gives me utmost joy. I have a sense of self-fulfillment. So the Milocon apologist read what I write. Okay. Ogoni fun Olorun. Ogoni fun Olorun. Glory be to God. Look at the identikit description above. Yoruba Nation writers, who among the truly freeborn Yoruba persons with clear-cut ancestry will not be happy to defend Yoruba cause and aspirations, who would not be proud to be listed among those who champion the Yoruba ethos of supporting that which is noble, just, fair, and equitable. Anyone who holds a country definition of the Yoruba race needs to undergo paternity test. Before I close on the unfortunate two, let me say this. Not everyone's life can be measured in terms of naira and kobo. Not everyone runs away from the battlefield. Some of us were raised in environments where we were taught not to join the company of the despicable. Besides, God has been kind to me, and I know what I want at any time. I am not out of job at the moment, and if there is the need for me to change buttons, I have my personal parameters on whom I will join, work for, or with. I don't have anything personal with Tinubu or against him. I have never met him in person. Whatever I might have written and will write about him will be purely on how I feel about his style of politics. His presidency will be assessed based on its output. I have resolved to stand firmly with the people. How does anyone reason that because a candidate emerged winner of a contest, everyone who did not support his aspiration is in trouble? I asked a question on this page last week. In fact, uh, the headline of my immediate reaction to the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections was the question that I left hanging. Nigeria on the part of rebels. I was deliberate in not answering that question. Okay. How many people elected Tinubu as president? Just 8 million. Okay. 794,726 Nigerians. How many people rejected him at the polls? 16,491,890 people, okay, did. So how many of that figure will go on exile? Wow. I promised myself I would not get into the analysis of the election. Irrespective of the outcome, a veteran broadcaster, Tony Abolo, while responding to my column, used a phrase that reinforced my resolve. He described Nigeria as unworking nation or unworking Nigeria. He added that he had stopped worrying about an unworking Nigeria. I said to myself I would do the same for the election. Victory is relative. If Tinubu rules well, all of us will enjoy it. If he does not, or if he does otherwise, the portions will equally go round in almost equal measure. So if heaven falls, we all become victims. Haven't we all been the ultimate victims of Buhari's rule? The nation was lost long ago. Tinubu lost Lagos, his base and a state that has been in his vice grip, okay, for decades. I celebrated the resilience of the people. Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State could not win a single seat or the presidential election for his PDP in spite of the 1.5 million votes he promised. I hailed the sophistication of Edo politics and its people. Samuel Otom, Ifeanyi Ogwani, and Okezie Ikpeazu of the infamous G5 governors of the catastrophic PDP lost their senatorial ambitions, and I said, when a knife destroys its pouch, okay, it invariably destroys its home. Ben Ayade lost in Cross River. I knew that crying on national television does not win elections. The APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu and the DG of the party's campaign council, who doubles as the governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, lost their seats and their states, okay? And I asked if they had ever won any election. General Muhammadu Buhari voted and showed the electorate waiting to vote his ballot and who he voted for in clear violation of the laws of the exercise, and I was not moved. Why? Buhari, to the best of my ignorance, has never obeyed any law. And when eventually he lost Katsina State, I laughed. Why? Again, my people say, it came by a sorrow. Okay? Irong paro fuiro. Can you imagine? Falsehood talks to falsehood, lies to lie. Okay, I would like to end this with the saying of my people, for he left for laho. One vegetable does not chase out another from the cooking pot. Wow. So what has this man ended up saying now? He has just written everything about Tinubu's victory, how it affects people that are in alignment with Tinubu, and how it affects people that are not in alignment with Tinubu. For him, he has said he will not, okay, he will not align with Tinubu because he does not like his style of politics. But the question is, people have called him to ask him how far. Now that Tinubu has been declared president, where are you going to run to? So for him, well, if Tinubu does well, everybody will enjoy. If he fails to do well, everybody will also share a portion of the failure. So for him, the worst that can happen is he gets out of the country, okay, and probably stay there until Tinubu gets his administration over. This person must be Shui Ayodele. So I will need to know um, which state he's writing from. But he's a Yoruba man, but he's not supporting Tinubu's system of government, Tinubu's system of politics, and everything about Tinubu. That is the issue. But right now, they're saying that he must be a bastard for him to be a Yoruba man and not supporting Tinubu's cause or not supporting the cause of the Yorubas. Okay? But for him, he is fulfilled because his conscience remains intact with him. So the truth is, if Tinubu's administration will not favor him because he has been opposing Tinubu's style of politics, then so be it, and he's ready to jet out and spend his life elsewhere. Wow, what a resolve! What an absolute resolve! Okay, somebody saying the fact that 16 million voted for other candidates does not mean he's not good. Okay, what happened, and you know this, is theory of simple majority. More people saw the good in him. How did it happen? Nobody saw the good in him because he rigged it and he did all manner of things to get the election. With all your grammar, hatred, and animosity, he was declared winner. With simple majority, he became president. Continue your writing of calumny and let's see where it will take you to. Can you imagine? Just unfortunate. So you cannot flog a child and at the same time ask such child not to cry. Jagaban has flogged them, and if there is anything for them to do is to cry. Ojojumo lekun alabosi won. Can you imagine? Correct statement. Tinubu has won, and he will rule over them as president of Nigeria. God has sealed it. Now wow, people do. It's okay. See, so since Nigeria, from the piece of write-up, the truth is that they are no longer interested in the unworking Nigeria. I love that clause, unworking Nigeria. Okay, so the writer, that is Sheyi himself, and his friend, they have called Nigeria unworking Nigeria, and that is the truth. That is why the youth actually came out en masse to vote, but then they rigged the election in the night and declared winner in the night. Quite unfortunate. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.